Namaste friends, welcome to my channel and this practice on helping you deal with pain in your bulging discs. So if you've got a bulging disc, and you might even know if you have a bulging disc, the best thing to do is to actually go and get an x-ray or get an MRI and find out what the health of your discs is in your lower back. But one of the clues to let you know if you're dealing with the bulging discs is if you have any kind of shooting back pain, if you have any back pain that's starting to travel down the leg, or if you have any kind of nerve pain that's traveling down the leg. Another indicator that you might have a bulging discs is if you've got any pain sort of in the upper part of the glute, more specifically into glute med and sometimes into the piriformis in here. So if you are dealing with this pain, there's a couple of things that you want to do. The first thing is corrective exercises. Now, I just did a video on this, and you can click the link in the comments below to find out more about this video. But in the meantime, you also want to make sure that you're strengthening the muscles of the back, and that's really important. So there's a couple of muscles that you want to strengthen, but one in particular is the multifidus. And the multifidus is actually connected right inside the vertebrae. If you look at the multifidus, you can almost see almost like a spider web. And it's kind of weaving in and out of the spine. And one of the jobs of muscles is to hold bones in place, or to hold joints more specifically in place. So if you look at the multifidus, you see that it's a really important muscle because it maintains the integrity of the spine. Another muscle that we want to activate is called the psoas, and the psoas is one of the only muscles that sits in the anterior part of the spine and is responsible for maintaining the integrity of that lordotic curve. So we want to first of all do a little bit of correction, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We want to activate our multifidus, and we also want to activate the psoas. You guys ready? Let's start to practice. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by laying down on the ground or on the table or on your bed. You can even do this. And we're going to do Sphinx pose. So Angela, please bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. And when I'm doing this pose, I like to do it first. So please do the sequence, and in the sequence, do this pose first. One of the reasons why is because this pose is a little passive. It is passively starting to extend into the lumbar spine. Anytime in AYAMA practices we do passive poses, we always do them in the beginning, and we start to move more into active poses, more dynamic poses. So this pose is very passive, and as you're doing this pose, really see if you can allow the lumbar spine to drop down into the ground. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll also jiggle my glutes just to make sure that they're nice and relaxed, everything is relaxed. And as I'm breathing in through my nose, I'm imagining that the breath is traveling down into my lumbar spine. And sometimes I'll actually repeat the words, relax, let go, just to remind myself of what I'm doing. The optimal amount of time to stay in this pose is 5 minutes. For the purpose of this video today, we're not going to do 5 minutes, but if you feel like you want to stay here longer, please pause this video and set your timer for 5 minutes. I promise you, this is one of the best corrective practices that you can do. Now, if you've got an extreme bulging disc, please don't think that this will fix it like today. It'll start to fix it gradually and over time. After a month or two of doing this practice, coupled with the other practices I'm going to teach you, you'll feel so much better in your spine. Today, since it's your first time, probably, this might be a little bit challenging for you. All right, so Angela, please come down and then come on to all fours. So this is one of my favorite poses to do. I practice it religiously, and the times that I don't practice this, guess what? My back actually starts to hurt a little bit. And so one of the muscles that we just talked about is called the multifidus. The multifidus starts down in the sacrum, and it wraps into the spine and all the way up to the base of the occiput here at the top of the cervical spine. So it's a really important muscle. Again, it maintains the integrity of the joints. This pose is one of the only poses I know of that actually gets into the multifidus, especially in the lumbar spine. You ready, Angela?
Yep.
So when you're doing this, please follow these steps. You're going to, first of all, take your right leg up and straighten the leg. I always like to kind of push through the heel of the foot a little bit. Now you can see Angela's hip is lifting up. So that's the second cue, is to lower the hip. Lower the hip. There you go. Now keep the hip low, and the third step is to lift the leg up as high as you can. Nice. Angela, do you feel this in your lower back a bit?
Yeah.
So already we're starting to engage the multifidus. Now, if it's hard for you to do the fourth step, just stay here for 6 seconds, okay? Now the fourth step is to lift the left hand, reach it forward. Again, keep the arm and the leg as straight as possible. And then the fifth step is to lift the leg and lift the arm up as high as you can. Lower that hip a little. There you go. And then keep the arm as straight as you can. And again, we stay here for 6 seconds. That was 6 seconds. So let's come on down. Let's do the other side. So lift the left leg up and then lower the hip. And then lift the leg up a little higher and then lift the right arm. And then lift the right arm and left leg. Lower this hip, and then lift the leg up. There you go. Do you feel that difference, Angela, between lifting the leg and lifting the hip? You're really trying to get inside the inner thigh and lifting that up. Lower back down. Let's do it a couple more times each side. Lift the right leg up, lower the hip, and lower the hip. And lift it up a little more, and then lift the left. Lift the left arm and straighten the leg, straighten the arm, and now lift from the inner bicep up. There you go. Beautiful. Do you feel that, Angela, right in there? You guys at home feel this too? It's like so potent. Lower back down and lift the left leg and lower the hip, and then lower the hip and lower the hip, and then lift the leg up. There you go, Angela. Right arm. And then lift the arm and leg. I really thank Angela a lot for being a good sport today. We're really looking at her body right now. And lower that hip. And so just stay there for a second, Angela. So one of the things that you guys can do at home is either A, practice this in front of a mirror, or use a camera. Come on back down. There is another little thing that you can do to see what's happening with your pelvis here. So lift the right leg. We'll just do it one more time, Angela, each side. Now, this time, Angela, bring your hand, the back of your hand rested on the sacrum.
Okay.
Like that. Okay. And then, now you kind of feel what's level. So can you kind of sense it a little bit? So you're lifting up that right hip a little bit. Lower that right hip. Lower it down. There you go. Now you're level. Does that feel different? Okay, great. And then bring the left hand underneath your shoulder and then forward. And then lift both up. There you go. Now, you guys at home, as you're doing this, I want you to really concentrate on feeling the muscles contracting in the lower back. That's really the part of the multifidus that we're trying to get into, and then lower back down. Now, I'm going to show you a way to start accessing the multifidus in the rest of the spine, and the same kind of exercise, but with one little tweak. So lift the left leg, lower the hip. Now bring your right hand rested on the back of your sacrum, and you kind of feel what is level here. Okay, good, very good. Does that feel different? And then bring the right hand underneath your shoulder and then bring it forward. And now the fifth step is keep that hip down, keep that hip down, keep that hip down. And then lift the leg and lift the arm. Now the fifth step here is to see if you can actually lift the chest. Lift it. There you go. Do you feel that all more in the spine? Now you're cooking. Okay, then lower down and come on to your back, Angela. So normally, you guys, when you're doing this at home, work on doing 6 on each side, alternating just as we did. So for a total of 12 times. This way, you're not only activating your multifidus, but more importantly, you're also beginning to strengthen your multifidus. I promise you that 99.99999% of people have a very weak and inactive multifidus, which is why we're seeing this epidemic, or one of the reasons why we're seeing this epidemic of herniated bulging discs in a lot of people. That multifidus exercise is just golden. But we also want to try to begin addressing the psoas. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that the psoas and the multifidus are two of the key muscles that have always been weak in me and caused, because of their weakness, has caused a lot of problems. As I begin to strengthen them, as I begin to activate them, most of my back issues, if not all of them, have disappeared. And I had a really bad bulging disc about 5 years ago that had sent shooting pain down my leg. And over the years, that pain has began to dissipate and gotten better because these muscles are getting stronger and holding the vertebrae of my spine in place. So this is one of my favorite simple psoas exercises, okay? So what you're gonna start to do is bend the knees, and then you're going to bring one ankle. So let's start with the right ankle, bring it across the left knee and just below, or rather above the patella. And you can bring the ankle more there. There, that's good. Then bring your left hand and you're gonna bring it towards the right knee. Now don't lift the shoulder up per se, keep the arm straight, and then let the knee come to the hand. And you wanna kind of bring the knee right into the heel of the hand there, and then just press it in. Now, one of the things I like to do is to feel the psoas. So just relax for a second, Angela. Now that was one activation. Find your belly button, and then bring the hand or the fingers about 3 inches away on the right-hand side from the belly, and just kind of press in a little bit, and then press the knee into the hand. You feel your psoas there. Kind of like pops out, hello, I'm here, and then relax. So the ideal amount of time to do this is 6 seconds, and you're going to repeat it 6 times. Okay, so do it again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax, and then do it again. Again, guys at home, you're pressing the knee into the hand. You're not pressing the hand into the knee. The hand is kind of like acting as a block. Relax. And try to keep this all relaxed. Keep the arm as straight as possible, and then do it again. Press the knee into the hand. So the hand is really acting as this brace, and the knee pressing into the hand creates this isometric contraction or shortening of a muscle, shortening of the psoas muscle, and then relax and do it 2 more times. Hold for 6 seconds. As you're doing this, and as the muscle is shortening, as the muscle is contracting, it starts to communicate that to the brain, and the brain goes, oh my God, there's a muscle here. The psoas is there. I've got an extra muscle that I can use to keep my lower back stable. A lot of people's psoas have shut down and are not working because due to stress, trauma, and overuse. Relax your legs now, straighten them out. Okay, we're gonna do one more little exercise. So you're gonna bring your left hand just to the pelvic bone here, just to make sure that this doesn't come up. You're going to externally rotate this right leg, bring the right leg to the right, and then lift the leg up. And now try to keep that pelvic bone down, that hip bone down as much as you can. Lift it up for 3, 4, 5, 6, slowly lower down. Angela, I want to see you doing this pose more often. And then start to lift up. There, that's better. Now it's starting to get stronger. It's already cueing in. So this pose is directly getting into the psoas again. We did the other activation to wake it up, and then we're reinforcing that activation just doing this. We're going to just do this side 3 times. And come on up. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And slowly back down and bring the leg back to neutral. And we're going to do the other side. Okay, so bend the knee. Actually, come and straighten the legs.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. Okay. Okay, guys, so we're not going to do the other side. I'm going to let you guys do that at home. But these exercises are completely golden to begin helping you guys to A, correct some bulging disc issues, and B, very importantly, starting to strengthen some of the key muscles that support the integrity of the lower back, the vertebrae of the lower back, holding them in place so that way these bulging discs, A, start to get pulled back in, and B, that you are starting to keep the lower back and keep that lordotic curve happening, which is ultimately going to keep your back healthy in the long run so that you can enjoy and live your best life. So happy practicing, my friends. Have a wonderful day.